Hello, hello. Sarah, it's day 2. Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? So, yesterday we had some roadblocks.
We had a few technical issues, which are always so frustrating.
Oh, we know it's frustrating for you guys. It's definitely frustrating for us too, because we're running around behind the scenes trying to fix something, having really no idea what we're doing. So anyways, we're so thankful for those of you who were kind enough to stick around. They really did. They hung with us.
They did.
And we appreciate those of you who have been around for a while, letting all the new people know this is not normal. So anyways, I know you probably know this, but what did you do yesterday? Because we're not the type of people to just be like, oh, it's probably fine.
Yeah. Yesterday, right after the live, I'll be honest, guys, I was stitching, so I didn't really know what we were dealing with.
Yeah.
And the best thing I could do in that moment was just keep stitching. But I checked it out right afterwards and we were like, this is not good. So I sat down and I recorded a stitch out of that entire block from the first step to the very last step, which I really didn't even plan on doing on the live. I was going to skip some of those detailed parts. But so you guys got a little more than that in that recording, which is awesome. And I think that aired around like 4:45 yesterday. So if you are interested in checking that out, it is on Facebook and YouTube, I believe. And you can watch the stitch out from the first step all the way through to the last step.
Yeah. And normally I put the day 1 video in an email. I did Sarah's recap in the email, so you could just kind of get the idea, right? Because I know some of you were new and like, what is going on?
Right.
So anyways, we're gonna get there. So today we have a special guest that's gonna pop in at the end from Baby Lock. We'll introduce her at the end, and she has a giveaway that she's gonna do and present. So you have gotten the giveaway link in email. If you registered, it's also in your free gift folder. There's a QR code that takes you there if you registered. I've also posted that in our VIP Facebook group. Nina's going to drop it in the comments here. So if you're just joining us, you still have time to get in on that giveaway. We posted it at the very beginning, and she's going to post it a few times in the comments as we go along. If you are in the United States, you will be able to get one of those giveaways. I talked to Maddie this morning. If you're outside the United States and she draws your name, you're going to get $25 in store credit. Okay. So even if you're outside the US, you'll still get a prize. Just know that. So 1 entry per person. I think it only takes your name 1 time in there. So, all right. There's comments are coming in fast and furious, which I love. So keep that up. All right. So what are we doing today, Sarah, before we do our Baby Lock giveaway?
Yeah, so today we are talking about how to remove the bulk from your seams, because we stitched out our block yesterday, but what do we do to remove that battleizer right up to that basting stitch so that we don't have so much bulk in our seams? And then after we do that, how do we join our blocks? And then if you use wool batting, how do you press your blocks? So 3 big things to cover today.
Yes, absolutely. And we think we got an amazing camera view for you. So
we did lots of troubleshooting.
We've been working hard, so I think we might have it. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so right here you can see that I have block A1. This is the block that I stitched yesterday. Okay, I thought I was going to say something. Sorry about that. This is block A1, and then I also stitched out block B1. One important thing to note is I do write which block right in my seam allowance right there, because each of these blocks, the piecing is slightly different and you want them to line up when you're pinning them. So make sure you're marking that in your seam allowance. It's very helpful to go back to. So this block B1, I already cut according to my instructions, and I removed that battleizer all the way up to the basting stitch. So it's nice to join. And then now we're going to trim block A1. So let me show you how you would trim that if you don't have a trimmer by George. I'm going to kind of show you the old method before we came out with our trimmer by George of how you would do that. So there's really 2 options before trimmer by George. One was that you could take your acrylic ruler and fold your fabric back. If I can get it there, I'm going to stick this under here. Fold my fabric back and then lay your acrylic ruler down. Then you would take your rotary cutter and just trim right along your acrylic ruler. Now, what we found where the issue was when we were doing this was we would trim into the fabric on the front of our block quite often. And when you do that, you have to restitch your block. No one wants to do that, right? The other way that you could do it before Trimmer by George was to take a pair of scissors and just cut right up to that basting stitch. Again, same issue. You're very likely to trim into the fabric on the front of the block.
And you don't want to do that. You just spend time and fabric fixing your block up.
Exactly. So that's where the Trimmer by George comes in. And what this tool is, and this is awesome. We hear so many great things about this tool. And I will say not just for Hoop Sisters projects, but for a lot of other projects as well. So Trimmer by George, we love. It's our acrylic ruler that has this nice crimped metal edge right on the end of it. So how we use this is we're going to take that crimped metal edge, we're going to shimmy it underneath the fabric on the top of the block, and then we'll lay it flat. We do want to peek just to make sure none of the fabric on the top of our block is peeking out underneath that metal edge. And it's not, so I'll give a nice little gentle tug on our battleizer to get it as close to the basting stitch as possible. And then we'll just trim. And I am using a 60mm rotary cutter. This is very important because you do have that added height from that metal lip right there. So very important that you do that. Let's do another side, and then I'll talk a little bit more about when you are trimming up to the basting stitch versus when you're just trimming through all layers. So we are going to stand our acrylic ruler up on that metal edge, shimmy it underneath the fabric on the front of the block, and then lay it flat. Just do a little gentle tug and make sure that no fabric is peeking out, and then trim away. I'm going to show you, I know, so easy. I'm going to show you what the back of our block looks like. So now we've got all of that battleizer removed right up to that basting stitch on these two sides, which is great for when you're joining your blocks. Now, let's say for this block, let's say that this edge over on my left-hand side is going to be on the outside edge of the quilt and it's not going to be joined to another block. In that instance, all you have to do is turn your Trimmer by George over to the acrylic ruler side and just trim 1/4 inch from the basting stitch through all layers. So that's great. That'll give your binding something to hang on to when you stitch it onto there. And then on these other two sides, it just makes joining your blocks really easy because you don't have all that bulk in your seam allowance. Now I should tell you what to do with this fabric on the front, huh? We're just going to turn our Trimmer by George over again to that acrylic ruler side and trim 1/4 inch from the basting stitch. I love this tool. I would say this is definitely a must-have for quilting the hoop.
It'll save you a lot of time and frustration.
Yes, it will. And before I move on, I'm going to finish up this last edge. But very important to make sure no fabric is peeking out right there. I think this is so much easier than the old method of using a pair of scissors to trim it or using your acrylic ruler. It's awesome. Okay, here is our final block. I love how close you can get to that basting stitch with that. All right, you want me to keep going with pinning now?
Yeah.
Okay. Throw some scraps off to the side. And you know what? One thing I do want to mention when you are trimming your blocks, hold on, let me grab my messy scraps again. When you are trimming your blocks, if you are careful with how you trim them, you oftentimes end up with kind of like-sized pieces of battleizer. And you can keep these scraps and just butt them up together. So a zigzag stitch, and then this is called Frankenbat, and you can just put that Frankenbat right in your hoop and stitch another block right on top of it. So it's just an awesome way to make that the 5 yards of battleizer last you a few more blocks as you're stitching.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now that we have that bulk removed from our seams, we are going to go ahead and talk about pinning our blocks. So I've got block A1 and block B1. One of the most important things when you're trimming your blocks is to be able to find match points within your block. So what I mean by match points is we want these two corners to match up. We want these two corners to match up. And then the other areas where we have our fabric, the ends of our fabric right there, we want those two areas to match up. So I'm going to go ahead and put my blocks right side together. I'm going to take a pin that I'm going to call an anchor pin, and I'm going to place that directly through my block on the two matching corners. So I've got that straight through my block, right at that basting stitch. And then I'll find another match point, which is right where, hopefully we can see that. I kind of can't see it. Let me push that all the way through. But right where my two fabrics meet. And I'm going to place another anchor pin right through those two locations. Find a few more anchor points. I like to find 3 or 4 in a block. Some blocks, just depending on the quilting, tend to have a few more match points than others, but you can typically find at least 3 because you've got your 2 corners and then the center of your block. Okay, so I've got my 4 pins directly through, and again, those are my anchor pins. And now what I'll do is I'm going to take another pin, go through the seam allowance, and then straight down into my block. Why we like these anchor pins is because when we're pinning into our block, the anchor pins will keep your blocks from shifting and getting out of alignment. So it's really nice. Nice, easy way to make sure everything stays in alignment. I just like to place a pin next to each of those anchors. And then after you place your pin, you can pull that anchor out, obviously. Okay, so now we've got our pins. And you know what, Aubrey, is it okay if I go to my machine?
Yeah.
And I'm going to sew this one together, and then we will talk about pressing if you used wool.
Yes, ma'am. In fact, while you do that, I am actually going to go through a little bit of a recap from yesterday. So if you were here yesterday, you've seen this, but I just want to make sure that we're clear and everyone has the right information. We do have this direct at hoopsisters.com, but you can also shop these shops. So we've got 2 in Ontario. And then we also have a few throughout the states too. So if one of these is your local quilt shop, check with them. They have the design and they have the bonus. They have all the good stuff that you're going to want. Okay. Oh, that's so sweet, Bobby. She said that the written instructions are easy to follow. That's fantastic. And so this is now available. We just launched it yesterday. It does come with the 5-inch and 7-inch block sizes. It's also multi-formatted for any brand machine. Speaking of machine brands, our special guest is in the waiting room, and we do have the Baby Lock giveaway coming up. We have dropped that giveaway link in the comments a few times already today, and Nina can drop that in there again. So make sure if you have not already to get entered for that. So it'll definitely work with your Baby Lock. So, and again, the price point's pretty darn amazing. It's just $35. You can get it as a download, or you can get it on USB. And there's a couple different layout options too.
Yes, I love that.
The other thing, thank you, Nina. The other thing I would love to know is, what colorway are you loving the most? Sarah's working on kind of like a pink colorway. We obviously have the teal colorway, and then we do have the purple one sort of in the background today.
Yes, I think you could change the colors depending on the season too. I know we've done like kind of a orange, burnt orange colors before in flowers. Well, that was really pretty for fall.
Nina's gonna laugh. I know she's watching. She's gonna laugh because I say this every flower I see. I'm like, you could do it red. It could be a poinsettia at Christmas.
You do say that.
I do, but I mean, really,
there you go.
I'm not wrong, right? They love the purple, pink, teal. So see, you can't go wrong. So Kimberly said she owns 4 Baby Locks. Well, aren't you spoiled? That's fantastic.
Okay. So I'm going to jump in here. Can I
go for it? Sorry. You better, or I'll just keep talking.
Okay. So we showed you how to remove the bulk from the seam allowance. We showed you how to pin. And I took this over to my machine and just stitched right on top of that basting stitch. And then when I open it up, I have this really nice set of blocks that are joined nicely together. And now let's talk about pressing. So sorry, I'm reading comments as I'm talking.
I know, right?
It would
It's
make
so
fabulous
distracting.
quilt with yes, it would. Okay, so we're just going to, I didn't use wool in these 2 blocks, so I could just go over to my ironing board and just press this seams to one side.
Can I answer a question real quick?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but Tracy over on YouTube said, is there any way I can register so that she could get, I see they go so quick, so she can get the discount. Tracy, I've got really good news for you. Registering gave you a free gift, but the discount is for anyone who orders the bundle, which we'll talk about shortly. So you're good. You can still get it, and we'll talk about how in just a little bit.
Okay, so back to pressing. Aubrey is going to interrupt me again, though, isn't she?
I'm going to try real hard not to.
Okay, so back to pressing. If you don't use wool, just press your seams to one side, and obviously you can press it flat. If you did use wool, you don't want to press it flat on your ironing board. I would highly recommend this strip stick. It's kind of like, I think there's a piece of wood inside here, and it's a little padded, but it's perfect because it's kind of rounded. You just lay that down, and then lay the seam of your blocks right on top of that. And then you can just run your iron right on your seam. I do kind of still like to do it a little gently because if you press too hard, you will flatten out your wool. And I have definitely made entire samples before with wool and pressed the whole thing, which that was a waste. That stinks when that happens, but the strip stick is perfect because you can just press right along here and you're not pressing the wool in your block flat.
And you might have just said this, but I also get stuck in the comments sometimes. If they did not use wool.
Yep. If you didn't use wool, you don't need that.
It.
Nope.
So yeah.
And you'll just press your seams to one side either way.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Nina's dropping that link. So I saw someone had a problem with it. We're dropping it again. It was also in the VIP Facebook group, the giveaway link. It was also sent in your email with your registration and in your free gift. So lots of places. I'm going to get back in here and cover a couple slides, and then we're going to do that giveaway. So make sure you get entered into that. I love that you did layout options.
Yes.
Because really the size, you can go from like a 14.5-inch square all the way up to 38 inches squared just by making
bigger.
Yeah,
you could go as big as you want. And someone asked about like a tabletopper layout yesterday, and I thought that would be awesome. You could take that large layout and just kind of cut it in half, and you could extend it if you want. It just really depends on how many blocks you stitch.
I liked that idea too, so that was awesome. Would it be better to iron from the back? Someone asked.
So I iron from the front and the back.
Here, let me give you.
When I'm pressing, I typically start with the back, but I do kind of get a more crisp press if I flip it over and iron on the other side as well. And it's the same if you use wool. I do think with the strip stick, I would start with the back, and then you can always turn it over. Just whatever works best for you, I think is totally fine.
All right.
Someone said free gift. How do we get that?
The free gift, you have to register in advance of our workshop. So in fact, since that was a question that just came up, the best thing that you can do is text the word workshop to the phone number on the screen. And when you do that, it'll make sure that whenever we open up another workshop, you get a text reminder so you can register in advance. We typically have registration open for a good week before we turn that off, but you always get a free gift when you do that. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay. Now I do want to, we only have a couple more slides, and then we're going to bring Maddie in here to do this giveaway. So we've popped that link in there a few times. Be sure to check that. But I wanted to really make sure that you guys get the best pricing and the best deal on this project. And the way to do that is to order during the workshop and get the bundle. Okay. So this is going to expire tonight at midnight. This is day 2 and the last day of our workshop. So we definitely recommend pairing this with our battleizer. And in fact, why don't we show this on camera? Because, and you can tell them, why is this special? Why do they need this?
Yeah, so battleizer is our batting and stabilizer combination. So what I love about this is you can take this battleizer and only hoop the battleizer. You don't need any additional stabilizer underneath it. Just hoop this one product. And it's great because it is sturdy enough to stand up to some dense stitching like you see in satin stitches. It is also, what is the word I'm looking for? I want to say pliable enough. It has enough movement in it that you're not going to end up with a really rigid quilt or wall hanging or anything like that.
It's also 24 inches wide, which is really nice. And we show you how to make Frankenbat, so you're never going to waste it. You're always going to be able to use those scraps, and you don't have to use stabilizer with it. So that's what's cool about it. If you make the smallest size of this project, you can probably make a couple using this size battleizer, which is part of the bundle. Okay. So that we highly recommend getting that. Now that will get you 10% off if you get the design and the battleizer. Now, if you don't need battleizer and you want to get something else in your cart, it will open up the bonus. You won't get the 10%, but it'll open up the bonus. Did you see a question you want to answer?
I did. You can go ahead.
All right. So highly recommend that you use this product, and it's also going to make it so that you're going to get the best pricing. So typically the design is 35, right? The battleizer is 33. If you bought the bonus separate, it would be 15, which you can do if you don't need the battleizer, but that would all cost $83.99. So what's special about the workshop savings is you don't have to pay for the bonus if you get the battleizer and the design, plus you get that 10% off. So you're going to save $21.89 if you order during the workshop. Okay. So we just want to make sure you guys know how to get the best pricing. Oh, yes, I can. Annie just talked to me from the other room. The discount will show in your cart. So it might not look like it's applied, but then if you go to view cart to check out, it will be in there. It's all working. It's all set up. We did it yesterday too. So if it doesn't look like it's coming off, go to view cart and you will see it all there. In fact, here's the bonus as well, because I don't think we've shown this yet today. And we can put this on camera too, Sarah.
Yeah, let's put it on camera. And then I want to answer a question I saw in one of the comments. I think it was on YouTube, and I apologize, I didn't catch your name. But okay, first, here is our bonus. It's just a really simple block. Here is our block. And it has kind of a stitch and flip piecing with our half square triangles, and then 2 different colors of quilting within it. So really cute, coordinates perfectly with the wall hanging, or if you make a table topper with it. Okay, now one of the questions I saw was, how do you finish the back? So I've got my 2 blocks that I've joined here. I didn't add any backing in the hoop for this project. So what I'm going to do is, let's act like this is our entire sample that we've joined all of these blocks together. We are just going to take one piece of fabric and we will layer it right side down on your cutting mat. And then you can tape it just to get it nice and taut on your cutting mat. And then you'll just take the top of your wall hanging, lay it over top of that, and then just with quilting pins, you'll pin, avoiding your seams, and then you'll go over to your machine and just stitch in the ditch. If your wall hanging isn't laying really flat, what helps it lay nice and flat is if you use kind of a loose serpentine stitch to stitch in the ditch. You can see that I did that on the bonus sample that I made. You can kind of see that. And if you use a monopoly thread and the needle, sorry, I know I keep turning this back and forth. If you use a monopoly thread in the needle, it really does just blend right in to your blocks, so you can't even see it from the front.
All right, you guys are cracking me up because I'm seeing people type lions, which was a keyword like a couple workshops ago.
Is it just like one person does it and then
I think
takes
so.
Over?
Also, I noticed that there were some people typing the word workshop. You do have to text it. You might want to do it after the workshop, but you do need to text it to the phone number. That will get you into the text club. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that I cleared that up. Okay. So the other thing I want to mention, we did send a different email with a different promotion if you're outside of the United States. We don't cover what that is during the workshop, just so that we don't confuse people, but know that we did think of you. Check your email if you registered, okay? So finally, to wrap this up and take it home, the best thing to do if you're interested in this is going to remain on our website for you to order. But if you want the bonus included and you want some better pricing, then today is the last day to get your bundle order in. It will expire tonight at midnight. And I think that's it, Sarah.
I think so.
In
I don't know
fact,
if there are any last minute comments, or we
let me
can
double
come
check.
back to that too.
I actually did start a couple things.
Okay.
I'm not sure about this one, Linda. Can you get the bigger battleizer instead of the 5 yards? If it doesn't work, call us because we can make that work.
I don't think it will, but so yeah, give us a call.
And I will pop Nina's info up on screen. If you don't know, we have fantastic customer service, and Nina is a real life person who answers the phone. So you can always call her or email her direct if you have questions. And if that doesn't work, Linda, we can try to get it to work for you, but I would just get a hold of us directly. You want to read those?
I have a question regarding the threads on the back. Do you ever trim them off or leave them? I'm guessing you are talking about with the threads before you're adding the backing.
They can't see that. Do you want them to see that?
Sorry.
Okay.
You can't read my mind. I'm guessing you're talking about all these threads back here. You can trim them up and clean it up if you want. I don't think you have to. I think it's fine if you leave some of those threads back there, but you can definitely, it wouldn't hurt anything to trim those up before you're adding the backing. That's for sure.
There's also a couple tricks so that it doesn't do that if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could bring the bobbin thread to the top of your block and turn off your automatic thread cutter. You'd still have some threads to trim on the back, but honestly, it's not necessary. Okay, wondering if there's a reason a 1/4 inch seam allowance instead of a 1/2 inch. I have found 1/2 inch seam allowance really helps it lay flat. You could definitely try that, Deborah. I will tell you, all of our instructions are really written kind of with that 1/4 inch in mind. You probably have enough on the outside edges of your block in the hoop before you trim to a 1/2 inch. But in my experience, I haven't found that necessary, but you could definitely give that a try if you want. Just keep in mind that our instructions will say a 1/4 inch right there.
And it looks like, I'm going to say her name's Juliana, asked if there's a deal if you buy the bundle and the ruler. So the deal part will come in with the bundle. The ruler will just be the cherry on top. But the 10% off will come off of the design and the battleizer, plus you'll get the bonus block automatically put in your cart. So hopefully that helps answer that. Okay, did we do it?
I think so.
Okay, I see Nina put the giveaway in there one more time. So we've done that several times. So you guys should be in this giveaway. And Maddie, are you ready to be popped on screen in front of everyone? All right, let's introduce Maddie. And Maddie, you can tell us all about your company and the giveaway and all that good stuff. And I think you can even share your screen. So we should be
awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really fun seeing this project come together too.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Maddie. I'm the social content specialist for Baby Lock and Koala Studios. Our parent company is called Tacony Corporation, which is a family-owned business that manufactures and distributes vacuum cleaners, sewing machines, notions, and accessories, including Madeira thread. And we also do commercial floor care equipment, and that's all in the US and Canada. So our brands do include Baby Lock, USA and Canada, and Koala Studios sewing furniture. Something that's really important to us is we really focus on community and education. So we'd love it if you want to come follow us on our social media channels so you can get inspired by other fellow creatives. We also offer sew-ed classes that anybody can use, even if you're not a Baby Lock sewist. And we have over 1,100 free YouTube videos as well that teach about our machines and techniques. So without further ado, we've got some really great prizes today. We've got an assortment of Baby Lock Sweet Seams fabrics. So if you win, I'll ask you your favorite color and I'll pull a few of those for you. And then we're also giving away a 40 spool rayon thread kit from Madeira. And that's an awesome value. I'll show you what our giveaway page looks like, but that usually goes for about $160, but it's really worth about $400. You're getting that for free. So that's a really great, good option for you. Sorry, do you have a question?
No, I just said, oh my goodness, I didn't realize it was that awesome of a prize, first of all. Second of all, I didn't realize you guys were family owned, and we obviously love that here at Hoop Sisters too. So sorry to interrupt. I just got
not at
excited,
all.
Maddie.
No, we're really proud of it too. And we're a local business here, but we're also really proud of our retail network all over the US and Canada. And a lot of those are small and family owned businesses as well. So really happy to have them. So everybody, as you know, we've talked about it a couple times. You received that PDF with those QR codes to today's giveaway. And we are going to do a drawing here shortly, but I also included places you can go to look for our future giveaways. So if you don't win this one, you are welcome to join in any of our other contests as well. We're also doing an embroidery month contest. I'd love to see your work. So I'm going to pull up my screen and we will draw from all of our verified submissions. And if you are from outside of the US, you will get that other prize that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to drop in the chat links to our YouTube, SewEd classes, and our embroidery month landing page. And then I'm going to grab my camera. Okay.
I saw some comments in all caps that said SewEd is amazing.
It is. We're very, very proud of it. Our education team is awesome. I couldn't do what I do without them. Okay. So just taking a second to pull up my screen. It's giving me trouble today.
You know, Maddie, we have had trouble ourselves this week, so we totally get it.
I'm just trying to hit that button. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay.
Can y'all see
it? And I'm going to add it. I'm going to add it in there.
Okay,
there you go.
Awesome. So here was our page. You can see this is just one example of our Sweet Seams fabrics. There's a lot of really great patterns, so I will pick a few for the winner. And then we've also got that thread kit. So this is what you would enter to win. And if you ever do our contest in the future, this is what that's going to look like too. I'm also going to just pull up real quick. We've got our, let me know if you can see that okay, our embroidery month landing page. So we're really excited to get more into embroidery. It's something that's a goal of mine this year, is to do more of the embroidery features on my own machine. So we've got some really fun free projects and patterns for you. We've also got some product recommendations and just spotlighting some of our other contests and things that we offer for you. So finally, I know the moment we're all waiting for, I'm actually going to pull our winners. So we had a lot of participants. Thank you all for enrolling. Thanks for signing up, and you will get emails from Baby Lock so that you can keep in touch and see what we're working on and get inspired with some free projects. So I'm going to pick a winner.
We need a drum roll sound.
I know. I wish I had thought of that.
There you go.
So, Doris, it looks like you've won today. Congratulations. And
congratulations.
We'll work on sending that prize. You'll get an email from me as well, and I'll collect your information so we can get that over to you. But I appreciate everybody for signing up and for attending today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maddie. We seriously appreciate it. And I feel like we're just new friends now. So we have probably some more things coming, I would say, in the future with Baby Lock. But we just appreciate your time and hanging out with us. And everyone say congratulations to our winner. And it sounds like you're going to be in touch with them, and we'll go from there.
Sounds great. Thanks again.
Thanks, Maddie. All right. That was fun. And, honestly, we love giving stuff away, but it's also so fun when it's something else from somebody else, right?
It is.
So we hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I just realized I couldn't see the comments. So.
I was going to go over here. Oh gosh, go back to where you were so I don't do the wrong thing. I was going to put the phone number to text workshop to up on the screen.
Oh, yes.
Because I still saw a few workshop comments, and then I saw one that said, what number was that again? So there's your number. If you want those text reminders, which I think are so helpful.
They are.
To get registered for future workshops.
Yes. And don't forget, if you are thinking about doing this project, tonight by midnight is the magic number to get the best pricing. It'll always be up on the website, but if you want the really good pricing and the extra bonus that you won't get otherwise, now's the time to do that, okay? I'm also going to pop up Nina's phone number. She's our customer service gal. Boop, boop, boop. there's her email, there's her phone number, and I'm sure the phone's going to start going off at any minute. So if you have to leave a voicemail, don't worry, she will call you back. But other than that, you all, I think we did it. The reminders are wonderful. Yeah, they really are. It's just
Awesome.
handy dandy. So, all right. Thanks. It was good
All
doing a
right,
workshop
we
with
did
you.
it. Yeah.
Hey, we're
I'm
doing the
back.
next one together too.
Ooh.
And how about that camera work today?
We figured it out.
We got it together. Fingers crossed. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.